All right, welcome back to the channel. We got a huge event this weekend coming up. UFC 267, Jan Blachowicz going up against Glover Teixeira. We're going to go over that whole main event card just in a minute. First, we'll say thank you to our sponsor, Tampa Bless. Home Team Do Good, TampaBless.com for more information on that. So let's get right into it. The champ, Jan Blachowicz, 28-8, minus 305 favorite. He's on a 5-fight winning streak. He's going up against Glover Teixeira, who's ranked number 1, 41 years old, Glover. 32, 7, and plus 240 underdog. He's also on a 5-fight winning streak. Tom, how do you see this one playing out? This is a disrespect to Glover to me, but what do you think here?
Well, first off, I just want to inform everybody, if you're not aware, it's an early card, and it's actually the first non-pay-per-view in the U.S. since UFC 138, which took place 10 years ago in 2011. So it's a good opportunity if you want to save a little money and, maybe throw it on some crypto. I'm just playing around about that part. You do what you want, but save a little bit of money. Start time, 10:30 a.m. Eastern. So if you're on the West Coast, Pacific, it's 7:30 a.m. it begins. If you're East Coast guy, 10:30 a.m. The main card starts at 2 p.m. on Sunday, and the main event is scheduled. All those times aren't exact. Within reason, 4:15 is when they're anticipating the main event on Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening to occur. All right, let's get into this. Light heavyweight champion, Jan Blachowicz, the Polish man, 38 years old, 6'2" in height, 2-inch reach advantage over the Brazilian Glover Teixeira on the other side, who's the same height, but he has a 2-inch reach advantage, or 2-inch reach disadvantage. Jan has the 2 inches on the reach. Same height, though. They're listed at both 6'2". Both only 3 years apart. Jan isn't a young buck either. He's 38. Glover's 41. So they're both not too far apart, but when you get to that age, and I could tell you, 3 years is significant. You change in 3 years. Anyhow, Jan, 28-8 overall, 11-5 in the UFC. He's coming off a unanimous decision win over Stylebender in March 2021, and that made 5 wins in a row. He's a gold medal, world champion decorated Muay Thai background, black belt in BJJ as well. Glover Teixeira on the other side, fighting out of Danbury, Connecticut. Shout out to Danbury and shout out to the Danbury Mall. Old time with the merry-go-round. I'm not sure if they still have that in there, but they used to have a merry-go-round inside Danbury Mall, and you didn't have the sales tax in Connecticut, so a lot of people from New York would go over there, as I did. Glover, 32-7. Overall, UFC 15-5. He's coming off a rear naked choke sub win over Thiago Santos in November 2020. So it's been almost a full year off from the cage for Glover. He's a 5th degree black belt in Kaju Kenbo, which is a hybrid martial art from Hawaii. And he's a 2nd degree black belt in BJJ. My pick here, I do agree with Mark's sentiment on the fact that I do feel it's a little disrespectful on the line that's being given out of Vegas, the betting odds, putting Teixeira as such an underdog. I don't agree with that. I really feel like this fight could go either way. It's a very tough call, but I'm going to go with either Jan by strikes in the 5th or by decision victory.
Okay. All right. Well, not too surprising. I disagree with a lot of the money coming in on this one. Giving Jan the benefit, people think Glover just doesn't have the chin to hang. I disagree. If you get hit by Thiago Santos, dropped multiple times, and you come out victorious, you still have that incredible chin. Yeah, let's just go over this couple numbers, though. Jan has 16 decisions in his career, wins or losses here. Glover has 18 KOs. I just want to mention that there. That is a serious amount of KOs. That's unbelievable amounts. I think this line is, I think it's disrespectful to Glover. Jan doesn't have that legendary power that all these people talk about. They love to throw it out there for marketing reasons. We saw guys with good chins. They don't get knocked out. It's the guys with those glass chins, Rockhold and all those guys, they get slaughtered down there. We saw Israel Adesanya took some great shots, came forward. The fight was very close. I think it was the right call. But that was more that Israel just didn't have the size to deal with Yan in the wrestling category. So I think Glover, he's going to take his time. I think he can eat some shots. I think he walks him down. I don't think you just get Yan to the ground that easy. I believe he's a black belt in BJJ also. But I think people are just sleeping on Glover's ability to weather a storm, wear guys out, and do what Glover has done continuously. I'm taking Glover in this fight.
Go ahead. Go ahead and make your pick. Glover in this fight and what?
I think Glover in this fight, I think potentially finishes him 4th, 5th round, or we get a decision Glover. And that being said, win or loss or draw, I hope Glover retires, and I hope he retires on top. I don't want to see that dude take any more damage. He's been a legend for the sport. Well, go ahead.
I love Glover myself. I love Glover as well. And I also completely agree with you that Glover has one of the nastiest, solidest chins in MMA that has not left. He's not punch drunk. The guy can weather the storm. That doesn't mean he's unfinishable. But I do feel like Glover is now or never. So he may be feeling that. So there's a lot of pressure. And Yan has the same. Yan's he has the belt. He doesn't want to lose it. So I feel like this is going to be one heck of a matchup because both guys, I mean, if Yan loses it, he's 38. He's going to have to try to circle back to it. You're not going to get it right away. There's guys in line. So there's a lot in line. And Glover really, I do feel, this is his last shot at it, and I think he knows it as well. So he's going to be going all out, which I think is even more reason to be wary of that line.
Right. No, I got Glover here. I just also, Glover and Yan, like you said, this is both kind of their last seesaw event here. Maybe they get a rematch if the fight is spectacular. But Glover knows, he is very well aware could be his last go at the belt. If he doesn't win, there's a line of hungry guys. Yuri's up there.
Oh, yeah.
People, Magomed to me is right up there. We'll talk about later. Mm-hmm. There's just a hungry line to get that belt. The other problem I have right now with Yan, he's overlooking Glover. He might say he's not, but you hear him talking. He keeps talking about Israel Adesanya rematch and what Israel has to do. Dude, you didn't beat Glover yet. Why are you talking about Israel?
And why are you talking about that anyways? Nobody wants to see that rematch.
No, I'm even sure there's people that do, but I don't want to see it right now at least. But at the same time, don't overlook Glover. Glover has done this to everyone. Look at his last fights. Guy's getting better, not worse. It's incredible. Now let's just jump into the card market a little bit. The card market, Glover dates back to 2012 Bloodlines. He's a legend. But no way, even with the win, I think he can keep his winning ways is the problem. Maybe he gets 1 or 2. Like I said, I hope he retires. But time takes everyone down. He's quiet, he's well respected, but I just don't see him as investable. He doesn't have enough fan base, as we can tell but just by that line. It's very similar to me with Jan Blachowicz. He was printed in 2015, but with a slew of super young, talented competitors coming up in this division, I don't think he reigns at the top for very long, even though he seems to be overlooking everyone at the moment. So I don't have a buy on either of these guys right now. Glover, great for the PC, but that's about it. All right, let's move right along. We got another great fight. Now, this is technically not a championship fight. It's an interim belt. Most people, though, this is a
5-rounder, though, right?
It's for an interim title. So it's for a belt, but it's not for the undisputed championship. Aljamain has the belt, right? Most people consider this the championship fight, though. Aljo got the illegal knee. He was almost definitely going to lose a fight, but not to banter off. We got Petr Yan, who's ranked number 1. He's 15-2, 28 years old, minus 235, favorite. Now, he's coming off a loss to Sterling. As I said, that he beat himself. Sterling did not beat him. Cory Sandhagen is his opponent, who's ranked number 3, 14-3. He's only 29 years old also. He's a plus 190 dog. and he's coming off a loss to Dillashaw. That was extremely close. Some people had Sandhagen.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I had Dillashaw. Neither here nor there. Tom, what do you see here? This fight looks really close on paper. How do you see this playing out?
This is a fun fight as well. You got the Russian Petr Yan on one side, 28. Both these guys are under 30. Total contrast to the main event. 5'6" in height. On the other side, the American Cory Sandhagen, 5'9" in height. Sandhagen holds a 3-inch reach advantage. Petr Yan, 15-2 overall. UFC, 7-1. That DQ loss against Sterling was his first loss in the UFC, and that was back in March 2021 here. Peter is a master of sport in boxing, master of sport in MMA, and a blue belt in BJJ. Cory, on the other side, 14-3 overall, 7-2 in the UFC, brown belt in BJJ. He had that loss where he got choked out by
Aljamain.
Sterling. Aljamain choked him out, and then he just lost a real tough bout, which I did have him losing as well in a split decision, though, to TJ Dillashaw, and that was in June 2021. My pick is Petr Yan by strikes round 4 or 5, or potentially a decision. I do think he needs to be wary of getting overconfident. Cory Sandhagen is sneaky. He has those
crazy knees.
Just little tricks. Crazy knees, spinning back fists, things like this that could catch you and change a fight. You cannot be overconfident with Cory Sandhagen, and he's got great conditioning. So you have to take it very seriously and not go in there thinking that you know what's up and it's all you. You got to go in there having trained properly, still being confident. Of course, all these guys are. But do not overlook Cory Sandhagen.
Okay. So, what's your call?
I'm picking Petr Yan, though. Petr Yan by strikes round 4 or 5, or potentially a decision.
Okay. I mean, this fight's really close on paper. The only thing I see here, though, is that TJ Dillashaw kind of just showed the way to beat Sandhagen. You know, he got beat by, as you mentioned, Aljo and then TJ, and they both kind of did the same thing. You crowd him, you stay out of his range, you watch out for those knees when you're in tight, and I think Yan is a master at crowding and boxing in tight. He looks incredible when he's in tight, and he's got very good wrestling that people don't really know him for, but he has it. He takes a lot of guys down a couple times a fight just to mix it in so you don't know it's coming.
He did it to Aldo. He beat on the back of Aldo's head. I was like, please call the fight.
Right. So he's got the skills to get there and crowd. We saw what TJ did to get the victory. I think Yan could follow that blueprint pretty easily. I actually think Yan might be better than TJ. That's a different topic. I don't want to really say I like TJ better, but probably is better than TJ. He's a younger, hungrier version, but we don't want to get off topic. I think Yan gets his win. I think he gets a late knockout also, round 4 or 5. Maybe a decision. Probably Sandhagen runs away a little at the end, but Yan just hunts guys down. I like both guys, but I see Yan winning this, I don't want to say handily, but more convincingly than TJ won his last one at him. Now, as far as the card market goes, I mean, Petr Yan is just serious. He's liked by a lot. He's vicious. He's cunning. He loves to just poke and prod at his opponents and everything on Twitter and everything else, which is good for the following.
What's his nickname?
What is his? I forget what it is.
No Mercy.
Oh, yeah, No Mercy. No, he doesn't have it, though. I mean, he was showing illegal knee shots in his training sessions posted against Aljo. So, I mean, he doesn't give a shit. The guy is good. The guy is vicious. He's printed in 2019 Chrome. Beautiful set, very available set. And we all know you can go out and grab him now for a good price, and I think you should. I got to buy on Petr Yan. Now, as I mentioned before, the other thing is he's really, I don't want to say he's undefeated because he made that mistake himself. The guy's very close to undefeated. He has a disqualification. He doesn't actually have a defeat. So you got to
It was one of the worst DQs I've ever seen. Like, it was so blatant.
Nah, it was so blatant. I don't know what happened. But now, here's the other thing, though. If he goes out and beats Sandhagen, Now he's going to probably have to fight Aljo, obviously, to make the belt clean. I don't see that as too much of a problem unless Aljo really changes it. But then he's going to have to fight TJ Dillashaw. And if he beats Sandhagen, Aljo, and Dillashaw, you got to start stamping him as one of the great bantamweights of all time, because he's beating one of the best bantamweights of all time, TJ Dillashaw. So his career's still young. The kid's only 28. He's a buy. And if he can beat TJ, I mean, you'll be glad you bought him, because who else is going to come up and really challenge him at that weight? I don't know. Now, Sandhagen, he's a violent contender. He's loved by a lot, too. People love Sandhagen. It's probably because he's very exciting when he does get those crazy spinning back fists, like you mentioned. He has super crazy knees and everything. He's first printed in 2019 Museum Collection as a rookie. There's a lot to like here. Now, I want to see him get this win personally before I give him any kind of buy rating, because otherwise he's on a 2-fight losing streak here, and that's just not good for anyone. So, and then he's going to have to circle back, because this is basically a championship fight, and they promised him they'd get him in a championship fight pretty quick if he kept winning, and this is it. So he's going to have another shot at the belt. If he loses this, what are you going to do? So I got to hold and wait on Sandhagen. We'll see how he does. Now we got another event that I know people are going crazy for right here. We got a lightweight contest. Islam Makhachev, ranked number 5. He's 20-1. He's 30 years old, and he's a minus 650 favorite. He's on an 8-fight winning streak, though, and he's going up against Dan the Hangman Hooker, ranked number 6. He's 21-10. He's only 31 years old. He's plus 460, and he's only won 1 out of his last 3. Tom, do you see Dan Hooker getting an upset here? What do you see happening?
Well, you got Islam Makhachev, the Dagestani, on one side, 30 years old, 5'8" in height. The Kiwi, Dan Hooker, on the other side, 6 feet and tall, 4.5-inch reach advantage over Islam. Islam's 20-1 overall, 9-1 in the UFC. He's coming off a rear naked choke sub win over Thiago Moises in July 2021 and 8 wins in a row. He's an international master of sport and combat sambo. On the other side, Dan Hooker, 21-10 overall, 11-6 in the UFC. He's coming off a unanimous decision win over Nasrat Haqparast in September 2021. 1 month turnaround. And I'm sure part of that is just the issues with New Zealand and Australia on being able to come in and out of there. He was probably like, I don't even know if Dan went home. I'm thinking that he didn't.
He didn't.
He just stayed, and he didn't, and I think that's part of the reason. Those guys are talking about moving their camp to the United States because of all the issues with COVID and the restrictions in New Zealand and also Australia. That whole city kickboxing over there. And that includes Stylebender, because Dan Hooker's kind of the captain of that team in many ways. Dan's a purple belt in BJJ with Muay Thai and kickboxing experience and a background in it. My pick, though, I'm going to go with Islam round 3 rear naked choke.
No, round 3 rear naked choke. That's a bold statement, but it could easily happen. I could see that happening. I'm a big fan of both these guys, just like you said. I love that Hooker didn't go home just so he can get this fight. And listen, this is a massive fight. He gets this fight. He's right in the title contention again. Somehow he gets beat, but then he's always right back in the title contention. The guy knows what the UFC likes to get him pushed forward. I like that.
Scrappy, too.
Scrappy. Yeah, listen, if he wins this, he's back. That's all I can say about that. But that being said, his only shot to me is a puncher's chance against Islam. Islam is a different animal than most of these guys. I think he's more well-rounded than Khabib was, honestly. I don't know if he's as strong as a wrestler, but I think he's more. His hands are definitely better than Khabib's. And I think the reason why he's not getting the credit to potentially be better than Khabib is because he has that one loss. He got caught very early on. It happens to the best of them pretty much. And that's why people don't crown him right now. The guy is unbelievable.
Except for Khabib.
Khabib didn't have a crazy road ahead, though. It wasn't like that for him, honestly. If you look at the guys he was beating, he wasn't beating a ton of tough dudes until way later in his thing where he beat like Poirier. When Poirier caught him in the guillotine, if he would have rolled with it, he might have beat him. There were some times I mean, there just wasn't like he didn't go up against all these guys coming up now.
I thought his dominant performance against Gaethje was very impressive.
I do. I knew Gaethje was going to lose that. I thought he would have had a shot. Gaethje flew out like a couple days before the fight for the biggest fight of your life.
Gaethje got destroyed.
You got to acclimate yourself to these climates. I mean, it's a totally different.
Oh, that's
time
another
zone.
thing worth noting. I do want to note that completely. What you just said. Don't forget, these fights are all in Dubai.
Right, yeah. So the guys should pretty much be there by now. I mean, they should have been there like last week. Ask Dana for a little extra. I mean, I'm sure he'll give it to you for these top guys. You need to acclimate to that climate. You need to acclimate to the time zone. And I think Gaethje didn't do that, and he screwed himself. That's personally why I think he looks so bad.
This weekend's card is Dubai.
So I think Islam works Hooker all 3 rounds. Probably tries to tire him out. I think we probably see maybe a late round 3 submission, but probably we see an Islam decision is my best bet on this. I think it's going to go over. Hooker, as you said, he's there. The guy's unbelievable. I just don't think he's going to have that wrestling skill needed to deal with the constant pressure of those Dagestanis. They're unbelievable. Now, rating their card market, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on Islam. It's a buy. I know he has a loss in the octagon, but that's it. We might not see him lose again for a little while. The guy's going to probably beat Hooker, potentially go for the belt, and we'll see how he looks up against a couple of the best. But buy. Trust me, Islam's a buy. He's already a little expensive, but you got to get him in your collection. Hooker, to me, great fighter, great kind of PC guy. I won't be buying him unless something really changes here, like he goes out and beats Islam, knocks Islam straight out. Then I have to reevaluate the whole situation. His rookies were just printed, though, 2020. If you want him, you can find him pretty easy. Now, we got another, Russian guy fighting here. We got the heavyweights. We got Alexander Volkov, ranked number 5. He's 33-9. He's 33 years old. He's a minus 290 favorite, and he's coming off a loss to Cyril Gane. No shame in that gun. It just looks insane out there. He's going up against Marcin Tybura, who's ranked number 8. He's 22-6. He's 35 years old. He's a plus 230 dog, and he's on a 5-fight win streak. And let's be honest, he's been fighting some monsters in the cage lately. Heavy-handed guys. Tom, I know who you like. Who you picking?
All right, so you got Alexander Volkov, the Russian, on one side, 6'6" in height, holds a 2-inch reach advantage over Polish Marcin Tybura on the other side, who's 6'2" in height. Alexander, 33 years old, Marcin, 35 years old. Volkov, 33-9 overall, 7-3 in the UFC. He's coming off a unanimous decision loss to Cyril Gane in June 2021. I thought Gane definitely won, but I thought Volkov did a really good job, especially the leg kicks. I just didn't think he threw enough hands. But he landed a lot of shots. Gane even noted that was the most shots he's ever received. And he definitely didn't receive many against his next fight, which was Derek Lewis. Although Derek did beat Volkov in a fight he was dominated in, but got to the knockout in the later rounds. Marcin, by the way, Alexander Volkov, black belt in Sushinjen, brown belt in Kyokushin Karate, brown belt in BJJ. So this guy's a hustler, and I've been saying about him, I feel like he's evolving and getting better every time we see him. Marcin Tybura, 22-6, UFC 9-5, black belt in BJJ, coming off a TKO punches win over Walt Harris, June 2021, and that's 5 wins in a row. My pick, Volkov by strikes, round 2 or 3.
Whoa, 2 or 3. All right, 2 or 3. I'll be honest, this is another one where I think the fight line doesn't really feel too right to me. Tybura has a granite chin on him himself, decent cardio, and he's got really good hands. He's being overlooked here. I think Volkov has the reach, the size. I just feel like Tybura is coming into his prime right now. I agree, Volkov's getting better every time we see him, but Tybura, I feel like is finally hitting that stride. He's really in his prime. You got to think 35, you're thinking he's a little old, but not for heavyweights. That's when these guys get really good. Now, watch his last 5 fights. They're all monsters. I think he beat like Walt Harris, took some shots. He takes them and he gives them back better,
he beat
though.
Spivak, too.
He beat Greg Hardy. He's beaten some big, powerful guys that you have to weather the storm on, and he's been able to do that. I think he pulls his upset. I think we see.
I like it.
I think he gets the finish against Volkov, maybe round 2. I don't think. I don't think Volkov's going to see it coming. I think it's going to be one of those blind punches. He's going to catch him.
Well, that's what happened. That's what happened with Derek.
Right. I think that's what's going to happen. I think Volkov's going to get a little cocky because Tybura eats him to get in there. He does. But he's been eating them really good, and he's been wearing down these big guys. Volkov has a better tank than the last few guys, but I think there's going to be the sneaky upset that people are sleeping on again here. Now, Volkov was printed in 2018, and he looks very improved. I totally agree. I'd have to see him get the belt, though, before I can put a buy rating on him. The heavyweight division's finally getting a little bit better. I feel like he's more of a gatekeeper right into the top 5 than him being number 1. I mean, he could change my mind. He could get a lot better. I just don't know. Tybura has also looked great, and he's printed in 2018 Chrome. I have to see him first win this fight, though. This is a big step up in competition from his last few guys. Just because Volkov's so well-rounded, he has that height and reach, and he fights long. He fights super long. It's a different.
He's gotten stronger too. He's been working out.
It's definitely a different style fight. I mean, Walt Harris probably has enough power in his hands, like Derek Lewis and all those guys. He just has no cardio in the tank there. But I think if he squeaks his W, you got to put a buy on Tybura. So that's my pick. Now we're gonna go to the hype train. The hype train is back, guys. We got a welterweight battle. Listen, guys, if I tell you anything, this channel is for entertainment purposes only. But I'm definitely sprinkling on this fight right here. I like it. I'm on the hype train. I'm riding the hype train, guys. We got Li Jinglang, ranked 11. He's 18-6. He's 33 years old. He's a plus 425 dog. He's coming off a win against Ponzinibbio. He's going up against Khamzat Chimaev, age 27. He's 9-0. He's a minus 590 favorite. I bet that line goes up. And he last beat Gerald Mearshart with that crazy knockout. That was a legit one punch. He just dropped him like insane. Tom, what do you see happening here? This is one of the bigger. I'm not sure if this is the biggest favorite on the card, but it might be pretty close.
All right, you got Li Jinglang, the Chinaman, on one side, 33 years old, 6 feet in height. The other side, the Chechenian Khamzat Chimaev, 27 years old, 6'2" in height. Khamzat holds a 3.5-inch reach advantage. I just watched the face-off. It was pretty serious. These guys look ready to rock. 18-6-0 is Li. Overall, UFC, he's 10-4. He's a black belt in BJJ. He's coming off a KO punch win over a very game Santiago Ponzinibbio in January 2021. If you look at Li, he's got like that almost like Thanos type chin line. Like he's very, he looks powerful. He looks like a very strong man. Khamzat on the other side, 9-0 overall. UFC 3-0. He's coming off the KO punch win over Gerald Mearshart, who just had a great victory himself. Gerald Mearshart, I think a lot of people wrote him off a little after getting put down so quickly by Khamzat. But in actuality, that just shows you how good Khamzat is, because Mearshart's no joke. And he just took that loss, but that was September 2020 when Khamzat knocked him out. So Khamzat went through a lot of COVID issues. He almost was considering retiring at one point. He panicked. I think that's kind of a little bit unknown, like this last year's worth of training. How much did that set him back? What happened to him this last year? That's a little bit of an unknown factor. I think that's the thing that you really got to be like, how is Khamzat lost a step in this last year? Or is he the same, or has he gained something? We'll see. He's a blue belt in BJJ, and he's a decorated freestyle wrestling background for Sweden. All right, because that's the country that he represents. Although he is Chechnyan, he's Chechnyan, but he's a Swedish citizen, and he represented Sweden in freestyle wrestling. My pick, though, having said all that, I got to go Khamzat by strikes round 2.
Wow. All right, yeah, I'm not going to spend a lot of time here either, simply because I told you guys, choo-choo, I'm on that hype train right now. I think this line is a little bit out of whack. I love Khamzat. Lee has knockout power, though. 50% of his wins have been by knockout, and he's never been knocked out himself. He's never been KO'd. Just a little tidbit there. All that being said, I'm not denying the hype train. I think Khamzat gives him his first knockout. I think he's going to wrestle, get him down, and just ground and pound this dude. We saw what happened to Jinglang when he went up against a taller, lanky wrestler in Neil Magny. Neil did his thing, beat him. I think Khamzat is a better fighter than Magny, too. I mean, it would be close. We can debate that another time, but Khamzat looks great. Taking that year off, I think, was great for Khamzat. I've seen his training videos. Once he got over that initial COVID scare where he's talking retirement and this, he needed a little time to clear his head. The dude has been training like a monster. I follow him on some of his stuff. He looks incredible. I think it's going to help him. I think he grew. I mean, from 26 to 27, these are the years he's stacking on muscle. He's also only focused on the welterweight division right now. His coach told him, focus on one division, and they asked him about it. And he said, basically, I listened to the coach. The coach has faith in me, and that's it. He's like, I would fight both, but the coach says we're focusing on one. So that's another big factor. So his weight and his nutrition and everything are set for one weight class right now. He's not fluctuating, jumping, fighting everybody. I'm just throwing that out there. I think that's an even more advantage for Khamzat here. Now, Khams may be the most speculated fighter in the card market right now. But the guy has looked like a phenom every time out there. I think he's going to look like a phenom again, and he's going to be more speculated on. And if he gets this win, he's going to be ranked. He's going to be fighting top guys, and personally, I can't wait to see what he does against the top guys. Does he look the same? Does he look that good? Do we get decisions? I'm excited. There's a lot to be loved about the guy if he gets this big victory, which we both agree he does, takes him out. Jinglang, we got time on him. I don't see him rising through the ranks anytime soon. We'll reevaluate him his next time up. Now we got this to me, guys. This is my pick of the night. I'm feeling good. I'm sprinkling on this one pretty hard. We got a light heavyweight battle. We got Magomed Ankalaev, ranked 7. He's 29 years old. He's 15-1, minus 310 favorite. He's on a 6-fight win streak right now. He's going up against Volkan Ozdemir, ranked 8, 17-5, 32 years old, plus 245 dog, and he's coming off a loss to who else? Yuri Prochazka. Tom, does Volkan bounce back here, or is Magomed just stacking another win?
All right, Magomed Ankalaev, the Dagestani, 29, 6'2" in height on one side. The Swiss Volkan Ozdemir, 32, 6'2" in height on the other side. Magomed 15-1 overall, UFC 6-1. He's coming off a unanimous decision win over Nikita Krylov, who's very tough, in February 2021. He's an international master of sport in MMA, and he's a master of sport in combat sambo. Volkan on the other side, 17-5 overall, UFC 5-4. He's coming off a KO loss to Yuri Prochazka in July 2020. So that's 14 months we haven't seen Volkan. He's got a kickboxing background that's noteworthy as well. What has Volkan done in this 14-month layoff? He hasn't been in the cage. I think that's really the question. I think it's good for him, though, because he did take some hard shots. He got knocked out by Yuri.
Yuri's incredible,
I think it's good to get his head right, get back to the drawing board, and try to, if he really utilized that year to make the best of it, we could be seeing a different version of Volkan come out. He's not that old. He's only 32 years old. So I feel like he does have the capability, if it was done properly, to have improved significantly in this 14-month layoff. Does that mean that the 14-month improvements that were made, if they were made, are good enough to beat the Dagestani Magomed Ankalaev? Tough call. The line doesn't think so, that's for sure. But you know what? Here's my upset of the night. Volkov by strikes or decision win.
Strikes or decision. If Volkov wins, I could tell you it's going to be a first rounder knockout. He ain't winning that decision. I could almost guarantee that one. He could win, but it's going to be by strikes in the first round. For me, this is pick of the night. For me, I already told you guys. Volkov has just not fared well against any top contenders. Just lost to Yuri, who I consider a top contender. He lost to Reyes, Anthony Smith, DC, and all those fights are pretty recent. Those are all his last 5-6 fights. It's not like we're talking early on in his career or something. Some guys do get better. I don't think you're going to get that better that quick. I think Magomed is the real deal. I think he continues to climb. I think Volkov has a great first round. I think Magomed gets it done easy, though. I'm taking this. This is definitely my parlay piece. This is my parlay piece. Remember, entertainment purposes only here. And I think he gets a first or second round KO and just lights out for Volkov.
Ooh, I like it.
Now, Magomed is one of those guys casual fans don't really know yet, but he's really good. People are going to learn about him after this event. This kid is a buy. His prices don't seem to be too crazy. I think you could scoop him up right now. He was just printed in Prism this year, so he's easy to find. He's affordable. I think he's a buy. Got the triple buy rating on him. Volkov came in looking like a predator early on, and then basically he went up against DC, where he hasn't looked the same since to me. He was knocking guys out, and then he gets one guy, blueprints how to beat him. I mean, DC is a stud. Let's not take anything away from DC, and then he just doesn't look the same. He doesn't have that power where he was just on the up-and-comers. He was crushing them, first-round knockouts, and now these big boys that can hang with him, that doesn't look as good. Now, he was printed in 2017 as a rookie. I say leave him there. I say when he faces top competition, he folds. I got a sell rating on Volkov. All right, guys, we got one more fight. I'm going to break it down. Tom's going to give you his pick on this one, and then we're all done for the day. Now, we got a strawweight competition here. We got Amanda Hebos. She's ranked 10. She's 28 years old. She's 10-2, minus 160 favorite, and she's coming off a loss to Marina Rodriguez. And damn, Marina has been looking really good. She's going up against Verna Janajoba, who's ranked number 12. She's 33 years old. She's 17-2. She's a plus 140 dog, and she's coming off a win against Kanako Murata. Tom, who do you like in this one? You think we get an upset here, or you think Hebos finishes this one?
Yeah, I'm going with Virna by decision upset.
All right, guys, listen.
And this might be the upset of the night instead of Volkov.
This line's not correct. This line's not correct.
As far as the line goes, but I still feel like the line's a little bit. I feel like the line's a little bit still much in favor of Hebos here. I don't think they're realizing how serious Virna is. But we'll see. Maybe they're right. But I'm going to go with the upset, Virna by decision.
I'll tell you right now, the upsets of the night is going to be if any of those Russian Dagestani guys lose. If Islam loses, that is going to be massive.
I know, but I'm not picking those. Yeah. So it's like I picked Volkov. That would be the upset of the night. This would be the second. As far as the line goes, would be Virna. Yeah. I'm picking Islam, so it's not like I called an upset there.
All right, well, my upset of the night is probably, I already told you, Tybura. Now, maybe Glover. I think Glover potentially too for me. Now, I like both these girls. I really do. These girls are both very talented. I think they're both going to climb. They're both young enough. Jojoba's 33. She's not super young, but I honestly think we see a stand-up affair here. Both girls are so well-versed on the ground. I think Virna has an advantage on the feet, which is kind of scary. But she's been proving that she's really getting better standing up. We've been watching her. She's tough. There's no question about it. And I think we could see the upset here. And I love Hebos. I really think she loses, though. I think Hebos probably by decision. And I'm rooting for Hebos. I love Hebos. I can't put anything on it just because my heart's torn here. I like both of them. I think Virna Jojoba gets it done also. Now, Amanda's a hold, in my opinion. She's pretty. She's young. She's super talented. She can definitely improve a lot. And with the few simple wins like this win, she's going to climb the rankings fast, and she already has a pretty solid following. So we got to watch this one. She's got to get the win, and then I could switch easily. Verna, we got time. I haven't seen her printed yet, and I'll let you guys know if she gets this win, though. We're going to see her printed. I can tell you that right now. All right, guys, that's the end of our stream. Once again, don't forget to subscribe if you're still watching, and we'll see you guys next time.